All right, this video is a 7-step process that I followed unconsciously. I didn't really realize that I was even doing it. And it made me a millionaire by the time I was 27. And I reverse engineered this in this video so that you can follow these 7 steps to attract large sums of money quickly and easily, consciously, right? There's a conscious competent, and that's when you know you're doing something that you think is going to work out for your highest and best good. There's an unconscious competent, and that's when you kind of dumb luck walk into something. And I basically dumb luck walked into something that really changed my entire life financially. So my name's Jake with JakeDucey.com. I'm having a good day myself. I just got back from the gym. There is no clouds in the sky today, and we're gonna dive right into this video so that these 7 steps can help you attract more money. And the first thing that I want to talk about is I let go of tracking my outside process and my outside progress. And I only measured my progress by my commitment to a worthy ideal. And what I mean by that is I basically drove myself freaking insane. I dropped out of college, put all my eggs in one basket, and everyone thought I was crazy and that it wasn't going to work. And I was really stressed, and all the publishers said no when I wrote my first book about dropping out of college and backpacking around the world. But I had went all in on this thing, but I was driving myself insane. And I got to this point where I basically had this huge awakening from my own stress. And it came from a quote by Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale used to say that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And I was always measuring my success from circumstances or my lack of success because I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I was looking to the outside world to define whether I was on the right track or whether good things were or weren't happening. And it was driving me crazy, so I decided to mentally give up. Not physically. I didn't physically give up. I mentally and spiritually gave up. And what I did by that is I literally let go of even seeing whether things were happening or not. And I said, I am successful if I, as Earl Nightingale said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So what's a worthy ideal, first of all? We are trading our life away every single day. You are trading your life away. You're trading your life away right now, watching this video. Hopefully that doesn't mean you click out of it. Hopefully that means, yes, this is worth an investment of my time and energy. I'm going to keep watching this video. But everything we're doing in the hours we are awake and asleep, we've traded our time or our energy for something, right? Sleep's important, so it's a good trade. But what happens during the waking hours? A lot of times we trade our life away, our temporary life in a physical body. We're spiritual beings in physical bodies. Your physical body's like a rental car for your soul, for your own spiritual lessons and whatever you came here in order to incarnate and learn. Whatever it is different than my journey, right? But we all came here for these rental cars. And while we're in these rental cars, we are trading our life away. We're trading our spiritual energy. For most people, they live a life that's based off of fear, conformity, fear of consequences, just getting by, and they settle for comfort and familiarity, even if that familiarity, even if that home base is less than their true calling, joy, and what happens is there is no worthy ideal that they are living for or living from. And what happens in the rat race is we're taught we're physical beings, so we scoreboard watch. Just like if you were playing a basketball game, you would be playing it. You wouldn't be looking at the score constantly because then you would mess up all the time, right? But that's what I was doing. So I said, I am freaking letting go. I do not give a crap what happens. And it was this weird, scary place to be in because my ego was like, holy shit, what do I hold on to now? What do I hold on to? And I decided to take a trip, right? So step number 1 was to define your worthy ideal and then measure your success based off of your progression of that worthy ideal. and start tracking your financial progress. Of course, watch your numbers, make sure you're not spending more than you make, whatever it is. But don't measure whether you're going to keep going based off of what's happening outside of you. And that's what most people do. And that's why they quit, because the evidence of their five senses tells them, don't do this. So then I go, all right, I'm quitting. Just mentally, of course. And I started doing some interesting stuff. I started fully committing to my business, but not worrying about what happened. Instead of worrying about what happened, I started hypnotizing myself. I started listening to a success hypnosis that told me I was already successful, and I convinced myself I was already successful, even though my physical senses said it wasn't working. If you want to use my free success hypnosis, it's right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com. But keep watching this video all the way through before you grab that, but it's right there down below, and you can start to use it to reprogram your subconscious mind for financial success. So I start doing that, and then I say, let's go on a trip to my wife. So we decided to go camping up in Oregon, and we lived in Southern California. It's about a 20-hour drive. We thought we would just take off for a while, right? And so we're on the drive up there to Oregon, and I bought this book called You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I listened to that book twice on the 10-hour drive on the way up on audiobooks. And I learned something pretty interesting. Money has ears, and it hears when you call. Money has ears, and it hears when you call. And I was like, that's a stupid, cute saying. But then I thought about it a little more. If everything is consciousness, and consciousness responds to different frequency patterns, that's why Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy and frequency. So I thought, well, if money has ears, then here's a question for you. Are you calling it into your life or repelling it from your life? Or as Bob Proctor used to say, does your thinking control your bank account, or does your bank account control your thinking? If your bank account controls your thinking, what's going on between your ears, the frequency you're broadcasting from thought and emotional waves, then if money has ears and it hears when you call, if your outside world controls your thinking, and then what happens is you are not calling money into your life. You are calling more of the same circumstance. You're saying things like, I'm broke, it's too hard, why is this happening? At least I'm happy, which is what I would do. I'd make like a consolation prize in being broke. Well, at least I'm happy. That's no way to live. At least I felt that for myself. It's up to you what works for you and what doesn't. But if you're with me, then make sure you hit the like button. Give me a comment down below that says I'm with you, Jake, or money has ears, it hears when you call. Right? So I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm driving on the middle of the 5 freeway in the middle of nowhere. It's gorgeous. And I'm like, whoa, money has ears and it hears when you call. And in that book, she said something else interesting. She said she in order for her to become a millionaire, she let go of all the things that were okay, pretty good, or just getting by. Everything that was bringing her financial life to where it was, that was just getting by, she let go of it, even though she was afraid to let go of it. She let go of it. And so I let go of a bunch of stuff in my life, a bunch of my projects, a bunch of my clients, everything that was bringing in me just enough money, I let go. And I said, well, what do I really want? And I fully stepped into what I wanted versus what I thought I could get. So here's a question. Are you pursuing what you really want, or are you pursuing what you think you can get? I was pursuing what I thought I could get. But what I really wanted was to be traveling around the world, making YouTube videos, reaching millions of people, writing books, doing online courses, all these things. That's what I really wanted, but I didn't think I could get it. So I was settling elsewhere with what I thought I could get. And my friend Kyle C says, you can't measure what you're gonna gain by focusing on what you're losing. So step number 2 is ask yourself, are you pursuing what you really want or what you think you can get? So on this trip, I let go of a bunch of stuff like projects, clients, all these things that were okay. And then step number 3 is when the magic started happening. So my wife and I are camping. We're in the middle of nowhere, and maybe you heard this story before, but forgive me. So my wife and I are camping in the middle of nowhere. We have no service. After a couple days, I have to go in to get Wi-Fi so I could publish some YouTube videos and catch up on some work. And we go to this little coffee shop. In order of that, I'll cheers to my lucky black coffee. And something crazy happened. I checked my YouTube account and I had thousands of these notifications. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? This is so freaking weird. I hit the refresh button and holy crap, I had a viral video. A video that was published months ago randomly went viral. And I'm like, holy crap. And I have all these comments and all of a sudden I have like more subscribers in 48 hours than I had in the whole history of my channel. And all of a sudden there's all these people on my YouTube, all these people on my website, all these people buying my books. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And what happened was I was blocking my own success. The money you want is in escrow, just like a home is in escrow between buyers, right? And it's in limbo. Similarly, the money you want is in limbo. I'm going to talk about this in just a moment, but I want you to understand, you have $1 million ideas within you. You already have them. They're just in escrow, or the materialization of them is in escrow. I was already pursuing what I thought I wanted, but I wasn't getting the results. Why? Because they were in escrow because I was mentally and spiritually blocking it. Because I was looking around going, is this working? Is this not working? Is something wrong with me? Do people not like me? Is my hair too long? Is this what's happening? Am I too young? And then I started questioning myself and all this stuff, which is kind of like driving from New York to Los Angeles and you're not getting there as fast as you want. So then you start looking at the car. Well, is it because my rental car's red? If I had a silver rental car, would I be getting there quicker? I mean, what? Right? Like that's what happens. You're judging the car that works fine instead of understanding that there's a natural gestation and incubation process. There's a period of time materialization to get from A to B or A to Z. So what you want is in escrow. And I was blocking it because I was constantly attached to my own thoughts and emotions. When you let go of your thoughts and emotions and all the negative fear-based paradigm that has been programmed into you by society, that's what the Great Awakening is about, by the way. When we disassociate from our own fear-based paradigms. And I disassociated from it. And all of a sudden, my whole life changed. And step number 4 is, in order for that to happen, you have to find something you love enough, and not just to use that cute word, we'll say find something you care enough about, that if you die unrewarded, you'll still feel proud of it. So if you were on your deathbed and you didn't get the outside results that you wanted, would you still be proud of yourself? Would you still feel like your life was worth it? Now, there's many things that make life worth it. There's relationships, there's family, there's a bunch of things, right? So what you want is different than what I want, and what you want is different than what your husband may want. Hopefully you're on the same page, but it's different than what your friends want. And this goes back to Earl Nightingale's definition of success, that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. When you find something that you care enough about, and you feel like it is worth you trading your time, your life away for, it's purposeful, it's meaningful, it's spiritual, it fulfills a deep appetite within your soul, that's when you're on the right path. Not when you're looking and going, well, the money hasn't come yet with my business and this hasn't happened yet. When you're in that energy, you're back in the paradigm of fear. And the whole game of money is not about money itself. It's about who you become in the process. And money can actually be one of the most advancing spiritual practices you ever have. For me, it's been just as valuable or more so than even meditation. because I've learned so much about not only myself, but about God, about the universe, about my own spiritual growth, about things that were holding me back in my personal life that attached into my businesses and money, all of this stuff. So find something. Ask yourself, if you died next week and you were on your deathbed and you were conscious, would you feel like your life was worth it? And if the answer is no, what could you do to start to shift the trajectory of your life, to change the sails to catch a different wind in your life? Because you need that type of spiritual energy behind what you're doing in order to call on financial miracles, in order for drastic, amazing things to happen in your life, and to just have the resolve to keep going when things don't always go the way that you want. Then step number 5 is purposely and creatively pursue that thing. And remember, you are not limited by resources, only by resourcefulness. You aren't limited by resources. You're limited by resourcefulness. That's it. But we're all tapped into that one divine mind, so technically we aren't limited by resourcefulness because we have all the creativity, all the ideas that ever were and ever will be. They're within us if we can shut down our fear-based paradigm and open ourselves up to those higher energies, that higher awareness, and that spiritual energy that's always flowing to and through us. That's why one of my favorite quotes is, "The miracle working presence flows to and through me." The miracle working presence flows to and through me. In my businesses, in my financial life, in my goals, in my health, in my peace of mind, the miracle working presence flows to and through me. The perfect people will come, the perfect resources will come. It flows to and through me. Then number 6 is have faith that you have multi-million-dollar ideas within you. How could you not? If there's one divine mind here that we're all connected to, Steve Jobs is connected to it. Albert Einstein's connected to it. You are connected to it. Your favorite artist is connected to it. Your favorite thinker, your favorite investor, your favorite plumber, your favorite architect. Everyone's connected to this. But most people don't catch the flow of ideas because they're attached to their own mind. They're attached to their own subconscious thought patterns. Subconscious controls 95% of our life, and it's a record player of old thoughts and emotions we inherited from childhood, and then it plays itself out, and most of us identify with that and come to know it as us. It becomes our home, whether it's in our highest and best good or not. It becomes our normal home. We attach to those thoughts. We think we are our thoughts, and then we live in a very low ceiling of potential our whole lives, not realizing that we're the ones that impose that ceiling. But have faith that you have $1 million ideas within you. That book could be $1 million idea. I mean, the Harry Potter lady, J.K. Rowling, she was on welfare. She had just got divorced. She thought her whole life was a failure, and then she became a billionaire. Like from a book, from a fantasy book. Think about that. And if she could do that, what could you do? If you move from love, from God, from inspiration, as opposed to from fear, from comfort, and from safety. And then step number 7 is that's when the magic happens. Because then you're no longer blocking it. It's kind of like a faucet that's calcified. And it's not coming through that well, but then you clean the faucet and then it starts coming through. So every time we attach to fear, it creates tension or constriction in your pipeline to God. When they say the kingdom of heaven is within, they literally are saying it is connected to us, but we only block it from our limited thinking. And this is when quantum leaps happen. So when I let go, it wasn't that I quit. It wasn't that I said, well, I give up. I'm going to go back to bed. I'm going to go back and do something safe and secure. It was that I stopped wondering if it would happen or if I was good enough. And I just did it because it felt like it was my purpose. So those sales phone calls, you can do it for anything. It might be in real estate in your sales phone calls, and you think it's monotony. But all of a sudden, you start to see it as every single one of these things are little spiritual activities. Every meeting for a new real estate client, every sales call for your fitness company, every client you have, everything you're doing becomes a spiritual task that is you aligning with the godlike abilities that are within you. And then quantum leaps happen. When we're living from the fear-based mindset, we go from A to B to C to D financially. Most people never even get to D. They go from A to B to C, back to B to C. And that's why once people hit the prime income earning years of their life, they make the same amount of money their whole life. Once they get to 50K, they pretty much make 50K forever. And this is for most of us. But once you let go of your mind and you let go of the things that you think are good and you let go of, does your thinking control your bank account or does your bank account control your thinking? And you recognize that you have $1 million ideas inside of you and you stop worrying about if and when they'll work out. And you step courageously into that, you step into a new self. It's like going up another flight of stairs so you have a better view. And when you get to that view, you realize, holy shit, there's a whole nother ceiling here. And that's a quantum leap. And the quantum leap's what happened to me when my YouTube channel finally went viral. Instead of going from 2,000 subscribers to 2,200, I went from 2,000 to 150,000 to 300,000 to 400,000 to millions of people on my website out of nowhere. And it just went so quick. And there's this quote in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. He says, riches, when they come so quickly and in such vast quantities that one wonders where they're hiding all those lean years. And I used to think it was like a stupid quote by a stupid personal development person saying some BS. And then I realized that when riches do come, they come so quickly and in such vast quantities that one wonders where they're hiding all those lean years because they're already there. They're in escrow. They're in vibrational or spiritual escrow, waiting for you. If you knew that the money was going to be there, how would you live? If you knew the client was going to come, how would you live? If you knew that debt wasn't going to be an issue, you were going to get out of debt and you were going to have a positive net worth, and you knew that you were going to move up the ranks of your company, of your industry, if you knew that your dream of writing that fictional novel was going to actually be $1 million idea, a multi-million-dollar idea, how would you live now? And you start moving from a different frequency. And when you move from a different frequency, you change what you're attracting. And that's why money has ears and it hears when you call. Because it no longer hears a little person that's afraid. It no longer hears a little person that doubts it. It no longer hears a little person that's stuck inside a very limited ceiling, that's looking up at the ceiling and going, is this all there is? And that opens up the floodgates. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure you get my free success hypnosis. It's right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free financial success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious. Because once you start changing that subconscious patterning that thinks, this is who I am, this is what I'm capable, I'm this smart, this is how much money I can make, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm not good at, this is what normally happens. Once that's gone, it's like dragging the viruses into the recycle bin and hitting the empty trash button on your computer. And all of a sudden your computer starts working better. Well, that's the same thing that happens with your subconscious, and it's the same thing that happens with money and success as well. And you can use my free financial success hypnosis right there down below. It's jakeshypnosis.com. If you enjoyed today's video, you can hit that like button and all that type of good stuff. Give me a comment right there down below and let me know what you think of today's video. I want to remind you that you live in a friendly universe and life isn't here to punish you. We're all here for our own spiritual reasons. We're all here because everything that's happening in our life is for our own self-realization, our own spiritual growth. And when we recognize that we live in a friendly universe, we can actually open up our cup and we can actually go, hey, something good will happen. I don't need to be afraid anymore. I don't need to doubt anymore. I don't need to worry anymore. I need to be brave. I need to be courageous. I need to be creative, and I need to be inspired. And when we live from there, really good things start to happen. At least that's what happened for me. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out my free success hypnosis. Give me a comment right there down below. Let me know what you think of today's video, and I will see you next time.